The coronavirus in Russia. Let's turn to that, a country really being hammered now by the fourth wave. There are some new numbers out of Russia today showing over 28,000 new cases in a day and more than 970 deaths. Briar Stewart is our Moscow correspondent and live with us this morning to talk about this recent surge and the situation in Russia right now. Briar.
Good morning, Heather. Yeah, it is not a good situation here right now. In fact, officials are warning that the fourth wave will be the deadliest wave that Russia has seen yet. And certainly this is a country now where they are having nearly 1,000 coronavirus deaths every day. Cases today are about 28,000. Government officials have warned that Russia is going to soon pass 30,000 cases a day, which it's never seen in this country. And I think when we're talking about data in Russia, we always have to preface it with the fact that there are concerns that, that we're not getting a true picture of how things really are here. Certainly when it comes to deaths. If you talk to the government and you get official figures from them, they say about 215,000 people have died from COVID in this country. But when you factor in excess deaths, the number is closer to 600,000. Now, why things are so bad now, it has to do with part of the fact that vaccine rate here is very low. Even though Sputnik was the first coronavirus vaccine introduced in the world back in August 2020, the vaccination rate across Russia is about 40%. And that's kind of constant once you get into the older age groups, over 65, where you have a higher risk of mortality. Even though things are bad here and the government says things are going to get worse and the vaccination rate is unacceptably low, they're not talking about any kind of strict lockdown. Certainly for federal authorities, keeping the economy moving is their priority. So it really does seem like Russia is just going to keep plowing ahead and just deal with the deadly effects of COVID-19.
So no strict rules, no lockdowns, as you've just said, Briar. Is the government doing anything to get a handle on this increase at all?
Well, some regional governments are introducing some measures like vaccine passports. That's not happening in Moscow. In the summer, in fact, they did bring in a vaccine passport system where you had to show a QR code if you were going to eat in a restaurant or cafe. That measure was very short-lived. It ended up being quashed after 3 weeks because of pressure from the hospitality industry. In Moscow itself, they're opening up 20 additional testing sites this week. So you could get a rapid test in front of a metro station or a shopping mall, for instance. But there already was quite a bit of testing capacity in the city, so it's not quite sure what kind of difference that will make. And interestingly enough, as cases climb, of course, there's going to be more people dealing with the lingering effects of COVID-19. And what Russia is doing is it's putting quite a bit of resources into post-COVID care. They have a number of sanatoriums in this country. Those are Russian wellness centers. We visited one, and at these centers, they offer alternative treatments, things like magnetic therapy, which wouldn't be used in a Canadian hospital because Canadian, medical teams would consider it unproven. But those kinds of alternative treatments are part of the Russian care system here. So it is really interesting to see what they're doing after somebody has coronavirus and to contrast it with what they're trying to do or not do when it comes to just preventing the spread in the first place.
Briar, great to hear from you on this. Thank you very much. Our Moscow correspondent, Briar Stewart, live with us this morning.